Poppy Wash by Kerry and Michelle Pike. Poppy had the best job in the world. Every day she washed and polished all makes and models of dragons at her ride-through dragon wash. Some dragons were old and fragile. Others were colourful and small. Some were enormously fat, and others gigantically tall. But no matter what their age, shape, or size, Poppy would always scrub and groom the dragons from the top of their heads to the tip of their tails until they shone like new. Poppy loved everything about her job. She loved the sweet scent of the dragon bubble wash, the sound of the special tickle brushes as they swayed back and forth beneath the dragon's giant bellies, and the warmth of the dragon dryer as it fanned hot air across the dragon's tails. But most of all, Poppy loved the dragons themselves, and she really wanted one to call her own. Her friend Smudge Daly had a dragon. His was red, and it went really fast. One hot summer's day, as Poppy was hiking up the hill to work, she decided it was time to find her very own special dragon, one that she could love and take care of. And it would make getting to work so much easier. Poppy began her search for the perfect dragon that afternoon. Her first stop was Dragua. Dragua sold shiny new dragons. They looked magnificent standing so tall and proud. There were lots of different dragons to choose from. But the one thing they all had in common was the price hanging around their necks. There was no way Poppy could afford a new dragon. So Poppy decided to try the used dragon yard. There were plenty of second-hand dragons for sale, all trying hard to stand as tall and proud as the new dragons at Dragua. But they all looked so old and tired. Poppy couldn't bring herself to make a tired old dragon trudge all the way up that awful hill to work every day. Next, Poppy visited the local dragon refuge. She was sure there would be a lost or homeless dragon she could adopt and call her own. But when she arrived, the cages were bare. Not a single dragon was living there. Poppy was very sad. It seemed she would never have a dragon of her own. Poppy continued to trudge up the steep hill to work. Each day she happily washed and polished the local dragons with pride and perfection. One evening, as Poppy was drying the eyelashes of her final dragon for the day, she noticed the enormous creature was crying. Huge tears ran down his puffy green cheeks. "Whatever is the matter?" she asked the tearful dragon. The dragon opened his mouth to reply, but could only whimper. He pointed to his gums. Poppy climbed towards the dragon's mouth and carefully pried open his trembling lips. Inside, she found a set of twisted traffic lights wedged between the dragon's teeth. "Oh, you poor thing!" she exclaimed, and immediately set about removing the lights from the dragon's mouth. The dragon couldn't thank Poppy enough. He felt so much better. The next morning, when Poppy arrived at work, she noticed that there were dozens of dragons lined up and down the street outside the dragon wash. As Poppy looked closer, she realized that most of the dragons were already sparkling clean. Whatever could they want, she wondered. The first dragon Poppy saw wanted his tail braided and shyly asked if Poppy could remove some power lines that were wrapped around his left ear. The second dragon wanted her claws painted bright red and asked Poppy if she could have her paws massaged too. They were sore and tired after she'd screeched to a stop at a pedestrian crossing. As the day went on, each dragon not only wanted Poppy to groom and pamper them, but also wanted her to fix something that was causing them pain. Word soon spread that Poppy was not only extremely talented at making dragons look good, she made them feel good too. Poppy's business grew and grew and grew. In fact, it grew so much that Poppy had to ask Smudge to come and work for her. Smudge would wash and polish the dragons, while Poppy pampered them and tended to their aches and pains. Poppy even bought the old building next door to give herself and the dragons more room. Poppy's new business quickly became known as the Lair of Care. It was the #1 place in town for dragons. Before long, Poppy realized that she no longer wanted her very own dragon. She was surrounded by a family of special dragons every day. Poppy had never felt happier. In fact, she was so happy that each morning she skipped all the way up that very steep hill on her way to work. But if you're ever in the area, it would be nice to swing by and give her a lift. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.